Is consolidating school districts the right answer for New Jersey? Find out next on Outlook Monmouth. Welcome to Outlook Monmouth. I'm Armen McOmber, your host. Does New Jersey have too many school districts? Certainly the governor and state legislature believe that it does. Over the past few years, they have enacted legislation to consolidate many of New Jersey's over 600 school districts and to eliminate those school districts which do not operate schools. Proponents of school consolidation argue that too many independent school districts lead to more spending and higher taxes. However, many citizens are concerned that the consolidation of school districts may hurt the quality of education and greatly curtail local control of schools. We're fortunate today to have with us Carole Morris, Executive County Superintendent of Schools, and Joe Passiment, Executive County School Business Administrator, both from Monmouth County, to discuss some of the issues and problems which must be addressed in school consolidation. So, Carole, I think the first question I have is, why school consolidation? Why now?
Well, we'd have to begin with the fact that the very first reason is because it was a law that was passed by the legislature in 2007 requiring that the county superintendents throughout the state and the Department of Education consolidate and look for ways to either regionalize, consolidate, merge services, address the question itself. And I would also think that right now, in 2 years later after the law, it's probably an issue that commands greater interest than one might think because of the economic times that we're presently in.
So what do you see as the main benefits of school consolidation? Is it just about saving money?
No, it's not just about saving money. It's about the delivery of services to children. And the challenge of consolidation is just that. Can you save money and realize savings and still protect the integrity of the educational program? Or possibly would consolidation or a merger of some kind offer better services, more efficient services for school districts?
And I guess the question would be then, consolidation, what benefits could it have for education? And maybe that goes to both of you. Are there more services? Do larger school districts inherently have some benefits over smaller school districts?
Well, one of the things that we are taking a look at in the consolidation, as you said, is saving costs, and certainly combining school districts together will save some costs. But on the benefit side, for the educational side, when you combine school districts together, a small district that could not afford to offer certain programs now would have that opportunity because there's a greater student base. So that's one of the advantages. Technology would be another advantage because of the sophistication of the various school districts that we may consolidate. Transportation savings, special education. So there are a lot of areas that Carole and I are taking a look at in the consolidation of schools that would actually benefit schools.
What's the process? I mean, how will this work? I think there's a lot of questions out there about exactly how the schools will be consolidated, how much input the public will have, but exactly if you could explain how the process will go about happening.
Well, the law itself addressed the process when they required that the first phase of consolidation address the elimination of non-operating districts. And that has just been enacted. And in Monmouth County, we have 4 non-operating districts that will no longer be in existence. And the second phase will address the K-8 number of districts in the county. We have 31 that have to be, as the law requires, in some way merged or at least studied and looked at for recommendations to the commissioner from myself, addressing the status of those 31 districts and whether or not it's possible and beneficial for everybody to merge those into K-12 systems.
When you say non-operating districts, exactly what do you mean, and how many do we have, or did we have in Monmouth County?
We had 4. Mm-hmm. And by non-operating, we meant that they had they were designated as a school district. They had a functioning Board of Education. They made decisions. However, they did not have a school in and of the borough or community in which they represented.
And those have already been eliminated?
Yes, they have.
Do you know, what are the four?
Well, Seabright has just been formally eliminated, and that district will be merged with Oceanport. We have Lake Como, which eventually will be going to and being merged with Belmar. And then we have Interlaken and Allenhurst. And Joe and I are not ready yet to make the recommendation as to where they will go.
And I take it then that, from what you said, that at some point in the future, the intent of the legislature and the legislation is that there will be no K-8 districts in New Jersey? That's
the intent of the way the legislation reads. Now, whether in reality that is possible or not for every K-8 in the state is really something that only time will tell, because we're already seeing problems in addressing some of those 31 districts.
What kind of problems?
Well, let me use Freehold Regional High School District as an example. They are 9 to 12 regional, that if we were to merge them with all of the K-8s that feed into that district, we would be looking at a district of close to 36,000 students, which certainly wasn't the intent of the law, and that in and of itself creates a lot of other problems. So we look at the elementary schools that feed in that are there now, and it's not reasonable to assume that we should look for another high school experience for them. So whether or not that's a district that would require, deregionalization of a high school, the creation of 36,000 students, it just doesn't look at this time as if it's even a feasible direction to go. So that then begs the question, do those districts remain K-8 for the rest of the time?
And how exactly, or on what will you base this decision? It seems enormously complicated. I know there are feasibility studies.
It is very complicated.
That have been commissioned and things like that. But upon what are you going to base these recommendations?
The recommendation to the commissioner that's required from every county executive superintendent would be based on a number of different issues and factors. One certainly would be a feasibility study, as you've just alluded to, that's professionally done, not by us or the district itself, but an outside entity of some kind. And that really will encompass a tremendous amount of information that would offer the comparison that we would need when looking at it to say, this is something that really looks good for these districts involved, or it may tell us and the district this is not a good idea, and therefore this is not the direction in which to go. And formal regionalization, which is certainly one option, may not be the best option for all districts. So there are other possibilities that we would then redirect our attention to and consider.
And by that you mean consolidating some functions of schools and not others, or just not?
Yes, there's a possibility of sharing of services where two very, very small districts may not need two superintendents. They may not need two business administrators. We're already seeing that being done now, where districts are sharing administrative costs, and special education programs, transportation consolidations, and jointures. Some of that we've already started. It's not certainly getting the attention that the subject is getting in the area of a formal regionalization, but some of those things are going on already.